Okay, hello Studio 108 community. Thank you so much for clicking in and joining us today. I'm here with Rob Fellinger, and we are episode 2 of our iCAN Bike conversations. It was a great experience last year. We're going to hear more about that, but let's say hello to Rob.
Thanks for having me again.
I
Appreciate
know.
it. Finishing up another school year. I'm an elementary school teacher in Shaker Heights. I teach reading to the K-4 building.
Wow.
We're right at the end of the year. We're done next Wednesday, so everyone's at a fever pitch trying to finish up our last things and be ready for the summer.
I was just going to ask you, like, is kindergarten fever pitch different than grade 4 fever pitch? Or is it just pretty much really revved?
The whole energy level is up in the building for sure. I think you have some kids that are kind of anxious because they don't really have as many structured plans over the summer. And then we have a lot of in our community that are traveling the world. So
yeah,
it's such a wide range. So it just depends on the kid.
For sure.
And how they're feeling.
For
Some anxious and some more excited.
Yeah, I taught in Cleveland Heights, so like the neighboring district and that whole range of everything that the kids bring to schools. It's definitely like a microcosm of the world and life.
Sure.
And, kids feel all those things too. So let's talk about these kids. Huh?
Oh, excited about them. We got a full camp again. We got 40 kids coming.
40 kids are coming through.
Yeah, so we'll have 5 sessions, all in groups of 8. And each child will come for an hour and a half and practice. We have our specialty bikes, just like we did last year. They travel around the nation, and the kids will train on those for an hour and a half of dedicated practice with loving volunteers.
Listen, it's serious work.
Oh my gosh, kids
it's
are
like
dripping,
you guys, could you imagine like a 90-minute workout and they're there with their little helmets tied on their heads?
Doing something that makes them anxious, right? I mean,
yeah.
this is not as natural for them as they would like it to be, right? So they're fighting fear and energy all at the same time, getting hungry and sore butts, sitting on those seats.
100%, 100%. And so 5 sessions. So it's 1 week long. There were 5 sessions across the day, 8 kids in each session.
Yes.
Are they coming from around the whole Northeast Ohio region?
Absolutely. We have anywhere from Cleveland down to just north of Columbus is our.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so people travel for all around. So there's a camp being run here in Cleveland or in Independence this year again. The next closest one is Youngstown. So they're not all over the place. So it's people come from far wide. We have a long waiting list. It takes a while to get kids in. Even with 40 kids at a time, I'm already pretty much full for next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a need.
No, there's definitely a need. First of all, you guys, these bikes are super unique. I've never seen anything like this, and they're a protected patent, right? They're just run by this, owned and operated by this program.
By the program called iCAN Shine. They're the national program that travels the country and also a little bit in Canada. They travel around with their expertise. The bikes, if you picture a rolling pin as far as the back wheel, and as the kids get more and more comfortable, they taper the ends of that rolling pin. So kids learn that there's a balance point. What freaks these kids out is they go from training wheels that is almost like sitting in this chair that I am right now. But if you think about riding a bike, you're kind of rocking from side to side. When you turn, you lean a little bit. And we're trying to teach the kids that little lean is okay. Not to freak out as soon as they get that little bit. So we just will gradually change those pins in the back and learn to kind of lean into the turn, so to speak, and get comfortable with that.
And to get comfortable with it. And seriously, what I saw last year was super inspiring, like how you take kids from A to Z in 1 week. I mean, there were when my little girl person, like when her back wheel changed and it got smaller, I was like, like every time it got more and more challenging, I'm like, okay, we can do this. Like, because I was like equally like excited and apprehensive and just ahead of the comfort zone. Like they keep them right ahead of the comfort zone.
So, right at it.
Right. So you just can't quite slack. They work every day.
For the entire time.
Yeah.
Little quick breaks, get a quick water break back on that bike. The more reps you do, the more laps you put in, the more comfortable they're going to become.
100%.
So we're fighting that anxiety and that tiredness, but these kids they deserve it, right? I mean, we got a group of kids that deserve that rite of passage, learning to ride a bike, that freedom to be able to go somewhere with their friends, go somewhere with their family. It's so wonderful. After camp last year, I got an email from one of the families saying, we just went on our first family vacation where we got to pack all our bikes. so
So
all the kids
sweet.
got to do it,
Yeah.
and it's something that we could do together,
Yeah.
it's sort of family building.
Yeah, 100%. And I know how much goes into, like, it's a very thoughtful process, very individualized process. So the whole unfolding of this skill set over the week is very individual. Each bike is different, the seat height is different and changed, the handlebars are changed. Often, like during that 1.5 hour session, the kids will be called over to the mechanics and the mechanic will be adjusting them. Like eyes are
Changing
on.
gears, like some
Yeah.
kids it's a little harder to pedal, some it's a little easier to
Is that
pedal.
how they do that?
Yeah, there's a sticks in there. So kind of, when we switch our gears on our bikes, it's up at the top, but we'll do it kind of behind them. We do everything kind of behind the scenes. So the kids aren't like, well, what was different? And they'll have all
Yeah.
sorts of questions. We're just kind of like, all right, here's your bike, it's ready to go, let's do it.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the changes, we just kind of jump into it. We'll
100%.
prep the volunteers, saying that, hey, making a little adjustments here.
Stay close.
Stay close,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then the day where the cones were set out,
Yeah.
so the little obstacle course and like around the cones,
Yeah.
but Rob, Rob, the last day out in the parking lot, like with the fresh air, totally different with the slanted ground where the gravity was giving you more of a pull. Because the rest of the days we'd been in the gymnasium.
Yeah.
So like every single day was like, whoa, juice. It was. Yeah.
But ultimately we want to get these kids outside. Knock on wood, we've been very fortunate over the years. I've been running it for 12 years. The camp's been in Cleveland for 13 years. And I think we've only had somewhere between 2 and 4 sessions that we've had to be inside it. We haven't been able to make it outside.
Right.
I was out there with a backpack blower, getting rid of puddles, things like that, doing crazy things to get these kids outside because it's just a different feel.
It's 100% different. And if you wanted to go home with them, they have to like have some sort of a transition
Get that fresh air.
to what it feels like outside, and
Absolutely.
not be like caught inside where I can only go in a circle in one direction. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. Big difference. Yeah, that's the success.
Absolutely.
Right there. A lot of care too went into their bikes from home. They brought their bikes in from home, so their bikes from home could be fixed up.
Yeah, so absolutely. So we ask all the kids if they have a bike to bring it in with them. If it needs some fixing up, some love and care, then we help them do that. If they don't have an appropriate bike, we'll help them find them. We use money that is donated to help give scholarships for families in need, and also to help provide bikes or repairs for bikes that are in need. We want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to do it, and that cost isn't a barrier.
Yeah. I think helmets went with that too.
Helmets as well, yes, they were donated to us by University Hospitals and Amazon last year.
Love that.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's super good. I know that I volunteered last year. It was probably the most feel good of my summer. Really, really a good time. Really loved being a part of the family's experience of that too. Like not just, of course, how would I remember a name? Like I wish I could remember at least the first name. She was such a precious little girl. And her family, and how much joy it brought her family, how proud she was, like the graduation ceremony. There was just so much about that week that was really, really great. But I also remember like running a lot, Rob, a lot.
Kind of depending on the kid you have, depending on how active you are.
Yeah.
But we try to make a good mix of teenage volunteers with our more experienced volunteers, our age group, and just keep constantly reminding that you got to stay in your comfort and safe zone as well. And there's a lot to be said for adult volunteers that can help also mentor the teenager that is also giving their time, as a mentor for them as well as their student in front of them.
100%, because teens too don't always take the initiative to step in with authority. They're sort of in that caught in between place.
Sure.
There's so many people there. They're like, do I say anything? So it's nice to like have an adult say, go get it. Go say it, go do it.
It's an amazing experience for anyone in the gym. I think 100%. Between the parents, the kids, the volunteers, and everyone walks away with, positive feelings. Whether they were able to get up on the 2 wheels at the end of the week, it doesn't make or break the success of the week.
100%. Last year, I think my partner volunteer was a gentleman and his daughter. how his daughter was maybe 12 or 14.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they came down together.
yeah.
Yeah,
So in theory, we have volunteers that are 15 years and up. But
okay,
if someone's a little younger than 15, we just ask that they come with an adult.
yeah,
So they can be the helper with that. And sometimes, they can be in the mix, and sometimes they can be cheering on the side. This year, I have a friend of mine's company is not only providing some volunteers, but also some people that didn't physically feel up to running, but wanted to come and be part of a positive culture. And gonna be like kind
wonderful.
of spread out throughout the gym, cheering on, hey, you can do this, Jimmy, let's
That's
go,
huge.
So just the
Because
energy level.
Rob, when I'm running like that, it is really hard to cheer.
Yeah, you're sucking for breath, right? So,
I'm just teasing.
yeah.
I mean, I'm just teasing. It was running, but it was, it was like, it wasn't that crazy. And I mean, the gal that I was working with could actually get momentum and get going
Sure.
and get started. So, you definitely had to move, but there were a lot of different ways for which everyone can help. So if you haven't kind of caught on, the one resource that is a little bit difficult to have delivered to the front door via Prime is the volunteer energy. How many volunteers do you like per session?
Ideally, I'm trying to get 3 volunteers per
Per kid.
student, so that would
The
be
3
24
to the-
volunteers. We're a little short of that this year. I have at least 2 for each, except for in my last session of the day.
Wow.
So I'm a little slimmer than I've been in the past, but
Yeah.
I'm very happy that over the last couple of weeks, people have been trickling in.
Good.
For about a month ago, I was very concerned that I would have to cancel my first one. I was very scared.
And I know I'm just one,
Yeah.
but I felt terrible that I'm
Oh,
traveling next week
yeah.
and I can't be, or June 11th.
Yeah, that's just
But
how it
but
is.
what I want to do for you is send the word out, like
That would be amazing.
siren the word out.
Yes.
And while we're talking here, I had reached out to Kitty Club in Independence, so those kids know about it. I thought of 2 friends who actually both of these moms have twins, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna make a personal phone call to them, and then here we are sharing it out to the studio community. So please, if you know anyone, this is just 1 week. It would be an hour and a half. They do like for the volunteers to commit to that particular child, so it would be an hour and a half, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
If possible, this
If
year,
possible, the
much
same
more
hour and a
flexible.
half.
We have some people that
If
can only
you-
come 2 days or 3 days.
Gotcha.
The ideal volunteer is able to come every day, but I get real life happens, right?
Right.
We positive, nice people in the gym, we will take, and we'll
Yeah.
figure out how to use them.
And we'll figure out how to use them. Okay, so that resource is super critical to the success of this program. And so if you have a moment to think about that and anyone comes to mind, send them our way. All the
Sports teams,
details.
high school, religious organizations, anyone that that is trying to do things in the community. For the younger volunteers, I can write on community service hours. So a lot of kids need that to graduate.
Right,
So I could certainly do something like that
right.
for anyone that would be interested.
Fantastic. And then the other thing is, you have some monetary like donors and sponsors and stuff, but I think you probably would be happy to receive some cash donations, right?
Absolutely. The money goes 100% to the kids. There are kids that need scholarship money to be in the camp. The camp costs $150 to enroll. And then if they need a bike and we provide helmets and all those sort of things, so the kids, we give them snacks. You gotta bribe them.
Yeah.
They're
And
working hard, some little sugary
some
snacks.
volunteers are there
Yeah.
like all day.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple really, I know you have some students from Shaker that came down last year.
Yeah, that spend the entire day with us.
The whole day for
Those guys
5
have been
days.
running a lot of laps.
Yeah, so having some cash, from to
buy
be
them
able to buy them lunch
Yeah.
is huge. It really, really helps. And Rob, I know you probably just like treat them to lunch and do it with like a big heart because that's the kind of guy you are. But if you have a heart like that and you want to say like, I can't run behind a bike, but I'd love to like chip in and help this organization, they'd be really happy.
A few hours goes a long way.
Yeah,
No
a few
doubt.
bucks, that's it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. It all adds up.
Yep.
All right. So you'll be at Independence High School,
June 10th to the 14th this year.
the 10th to the 14th.
Yes.
And you'll be in the parking lot there. on the
Starting
14th.
Wednesday, yeah.
Starting Wednesday.
On Wednesday, our first child, depending if they're ready,
Yeah,
our first child usually gets up on 2 wheels on Wednesday, and then we probably get outside by Thursday.
yeah,
Is the typical.
the typical
yeah.
trajectory,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
See how it goes. It's just a new mix. Another unique thing, we have our oldest camper coming in. In the past, our record was 28 years old. This year I have a 53-year-old contemporary of mine
Outstanding.
That wanted to learn how to ride a bike. He lives in a group home somewhere in Cleveland, and asked him if he wanted to ride. He said, "Sure." And so we're going to give it a go. We'll see how it goes. So our camp goes from 8 years old up. So
Yeah.
our range, as you would probably guess, is between that 8-year-old and like 14-year-old range is obviously the vast majority, but occasionally we get a few outliers. Some kids that are a little bit older, and
what a
still
joy
decide
in
that same
life.
ride. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, what a joy in life.
Yeah.
This is a really, really outstanding program, you guys, and I was so happy and proud to have learned about it and to be able to help last year, and help me help, like help me help, and let's make something good, sustainable in the community, and a little bit easier for guys like Rob who put so much of their time and their heart and soul into it, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Who is the lady who co-runs
Deena Barrett.
Say it again.
Deena Barrett
Deena.
is kind of my right arm. We work well together. We each have a different skill set. So
Yeah.
we
Deena's great. Deena's great. So we'll get her on the podcast last year. We'll have both of you. We get like totally crazy.
That'd be so fun.
So fun, right?
Fun.
I know. Okay. So there are some flyers at the studio on the bench. All the information is down there in the show notes in the post. And we hope that you can reach out and offer a little support to these guys. If not, just have a really great day knowing that good things are happening in your community. And that's the kind of place we like to live and work and play.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Yeah. Find something good you can do in your own circle.
Absolutely.
All right. Namaste, you guys. And thank you so much for following. Thanks so much, Rob.
Thanks for having me.
What a great time.
So fun.
So fun, right? I'll find a little button.